Good morning, Simone. Thank you for taking the time to attend today's interview. The purpose of today's meeting is to find out more about your skills and attributes and knowledge, and to see how they apply to the role. Firstly, I'd like to ask you a series of questions to understand a little more about your experience and how certain situations you've been in may apply to this role. Secondly, I will be talking to you more about the role and our organization. And next, I will give you an opportunity to ask any questions that you may have, and then I'll talk to you about the next steps. I'll be taking notes throughout the course of our discussion so that I can reflect back upon them later. Okay, are you ready for the first question? Okay. Tell me about a time when you were in a situation where you were required to respond to a customer's needs.
Well, there's one situation I remember particularly. There was a guest at the hotel who did not receive his dry cleaning in the morning, and he needed to wear this piece of clothing to a business meeting that day. That was...
What was your role in this scenario?
In the hotel, I was a guest liaison manager, so my responsibility was to deal with all kinds of issues that clients, customers, hotel guests were dealing with.
Okay, and in this particular situation, what was the first thing that you did?
The first thing I did was I called the guest to ask him if it was okay to go and see him in his room, because I prefer to see him face to face, but I wanted to give him a heads up, so I called him first.
What were you trying to achieve by going to the guest's room?
Well, in my experience, to solve a conflict face to face, so that's why I wanted to meet this person in person, and also I wanted to find out more about the situation, so I could actually think of some solutions.
And what was the guest's response in this situation?
On the phone at first he sounded really frustrated and angry, but he agreed that it was a good idea for me to come and see him personally. So I did.
How did you deal with the guest's anger in this situation?
Well, at first I felt quite intimidated by his anger, but then I tried to let him ventilate the emotion for a while, and after that the first thing I did was apologize to him for the situation and asked him some questions.
What specific questions did you ask the guest?
Well, the questions that I asked were mainly about the type of clothing that he was missing and why he needed it and when, for what occasion, his size, all these kind of things, to just find out what a possible solution would be for him.
And what happened next?
Next, I got in touch with the dry cleaners who were in possession of his clothes at the moment. Actually, first I asked the receptionist why she didn't get in touch with them. Then I realized it was 7:30 in the morning, so the shop just simply wasn't open yet. And luckily I know the dry cleaner personally, so I called him on his mobile, and I actually awoke him, so I had to apologize to him too that day. And I asked him if he could go down to his shop, he lives above the shop, to check on the clothing and where it was, whether it was clean, and what we could do next.
And what happened next?
He called me like 30 minutes later to tell me that the suit hadn't been cleaned yet, and that there was a big stain on the front of the suit, so he actually couldn't give it to us in this state. So I asked him how long it would take for him to get it to me cleaned and neat, and he said it would take about 2 hours, so I called the guest and let him know that it would take 2 hours, and he said that he would be in the office, so I offered to go and fetch the suit and bring it to his office personally.
What made you decide to take the clothing to the customer yourself?
I decided to take the clothes there myself because I had been in contact with him all day, and I felt that as a single point of contact, that's always good in a customer relation. And that's why I wanted to do it in person, so he would see me again after speaking to me on the phone twice that day, seeing me in the room and sharing his anger with me.
How did he react?
He was still a bit upset when I brought the soup because he just was very upset about the whole situation. But he felt he got a personal treatment, and yeah, he really appreciated it.
What was the outcome?
Well, in the end, this guest was quite satisfied about how I handled the situation, and he still is a very loyal guest in our hotel. He keeps coming back, so I think we did a good job. And I also offered him, well, of course he didn't have to pay for the dry cleaning, but I offered him a free meal in the hotel restaurant that night, and I think he's okay with the situation as it was.
What did you learn from this?
Well, I did learn that, like you asked, being the single point of contact, that really helped the situation. And initially, when I went over to the room to personally solve the conflict or the issue for him, paying the personal attention, that really helped.
Thank you. And now let's move to the next question. Tell me about a time when you were in a situation where you were required to respond to a customer's needs.
I remember one particular case. I remember that day very well because I came in the office and my car wouldn't start, and it was such, it was raining, and the kind of day when you just don't want to do anything. And it was 7:30, and I got a call from reception that there was a guy who didn't receive his dry cleaning, and he had a very important business meeting, so he needed his soup. So yeah, that's one time I remember particularly that was challenging. Let's keep it challenging.
And you managed to solve this problem?
Yeah, we did, because the meeting appeared to be only 11, so we just arranged all these things with the dry cleaners, and they managed to get him his suit cleaned and steamed and everything ready for him at 11. So yeah, I saw him wearing it at 11 going into the meeting.
Was the customer happy?
Yeah.
Did you feel good with that outcome?
Because, yeah, he was happy, so yeah.
Great.